In this video, we are going to talk about multiplying and dividing monomials. Remember, a monomial is just a polynomial with one term. And what we're going to be using is our properties of exponents for multiplying and dividing. So this is our actual property here. A to the x times a to the y is equal to a to the x plus y. Basically, when you are multiplying with the same base, you add your exponents. So if we look at this example down here, x to the fourth times x to the fifth. Since the base is the same, keep the base and add the exponents. Now if I'm dividing, I'm going to subtract. So again, a to the x over a to the y is equal to a to the x minus y. So if I have x to the eighth over x to the fifth, bases are the same, so I keep the base, subtract the exponents. X minus 5 is 3. Let's look at two examples here. So first of all, multiplying. So this is a monomial, 4a squared, and this is a monomial, 2a to the fifth. Notice this time I also have coefficients. So in the last example, my coefficient was 1. Here I have a coefficient of 4 and a coefficient of 2. So I'm going to multiply those. 4 times 2 is 8. And then my a to the second and a to the fifth, the base is the same, so I keep the base and add the exponents. 2 plus 5 is 7. If I'm dividing the numbers, the coefficients, 20 and 4, I'm going to divide my coefficients, which is going to give me 5. And then with my variables, x to the seventh over x to the third, my bases are the same, so I keep the base and subtract my exponents. Let's take a look at our 4 examples, our first 4 problems from our 4 square. So the first 2 are going to be using multiplication. I know I'm using multiplication because there's no division sign and there's no fraction bar. So of course it's multiplication. Now what I'm going to do is first identify my coefficients. So my coefficients here are the 7 and the 6. I'm going to start by multiplying 7 times 6, so 42. Then I'm going to look at my variables. I'm looking for ones that have the same base. So here I have x squared times x cubed. So I'm going to keep the base, and I'm going to add the exponents. 2 plus 3 is 5. And that's my simplified answer. Let's look at the second one. Second one looks a lot more complicated, but it really is not. I'm still going to start by identifying my coefficients. So those are the big numbers out front. So 8 times 10 is 80. Then I look at my ones with powers. So first, here's my x and here's my x. I'm looking for the ones with the same base. So base of x, I keep the x. And I add the exponents. 5 plus 5 is 10. Now notice here I also have y's. So a base of y and a base of y. So I'm going to keep the base. 5 plus 4 is 9. So when you're multiplying the coefficients, you just multiply. The numbers in front, you just multiply. If you have powers, you look for the ones with the same base, keep the base, and add the exponents. Let's look at some division problems. So these look more complicated because we've got that fraction bar, but it really is no different. I'm going to divide the coefficients, and then with the bases, I'm going to keep the base, subtract the exponents. So starting with number 3. So first I look at this and I see 16 and 10. I can't divide 16 by 10. I mean, I can, but I get a decimal. So what I'm going to do instead is just reduce. So 16 and 10 are both even. So what I can do is divide top and bottom by 2 to reduce them. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I just reduced my fraction, that's all. Now with the x's, we do need to start by saying my larger x is in the numerator. So I've got x and x. I'm going to keep my base, and I'm going to put it where the larger exponent is. Then I'm going to subtract my exponents. So 3 minus 1 is 2. And so my answer here is 8x squared over 5. Let's look at number 4. Again, I'm going to start by drawing my fraction bar. I don't always need it, but it's good to have it there. Looking at my coefficients, so my coefficients here are 16 and 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. That does go evenly. Then looking at my x's. So base of x, remember the exponent there is 1. Larger exponent is in the numerator, so I'm going to keep it in the numerator. 4 minus 1 is 3. And then I'm going to look at my y's. So I've got y squared and y to the 5th. The y to the 5th is larger, so I'm going to keep my base in the denominator. 5 minus 2 is 3. So my answer is 4x cubed over y cubed. That's my reduced answer. When you are doing these, what you're looking for is a number or a fraction, in the case of number 3, and then each base is only used once. That's how you know that you're simplified. And that is all there is to multiplying and dividing with our monomials using our properties of exponents.